I have been feeling a lot of that since my last session with you, where you reminded me that I was afraid of my power.
That is
Uh,
stupendous.
yes, and your reminders to tap into that source energy and remind myself every day that what created the universe is what moves through me. So that's been incredibly helpful.
You recall the times in your life when you fell in love and the excitement of that, yes? And
Yes.
you recall that one of the byproducts of that experience was oftentimes you would go to sleep and the last thought on your mind was of that person. And when you woke up, it was the first thing that you thought of when you reawakened, yes?
Yes.
That is what I am proposing here, that the last thought that you have is regarding and acknowledging your divinity when you go to sleep. Still an act of love, still a thought that generates the sense of wonderfulness about you, except it is not another person creating it within you. The difference is you are creating that same resonance. You remember the deliciousness of before you go to sleep, you would think of this person before you went to sleep and how wonderful it felt, yes?
Yes.
When you contemplate your own divinity and the magnitude of what you are and who you are, it brings you the same vibration. It brings you this, it generates the same energy frequency. And then when you wake up and it is the first thought you recall, it does the same then as well. But you no longer need another human to be the causal effect of this ability to generate this frequency within self. You become less conditional by embracing, by creating this habit of thought and allowing the energy that flows from that thought to resonate within you. It is still being in love, but with you, your life, your existence, then, you see. And so I would say to create and remind yourself of you being God force in physical body and let the energy of that thought resonate and go to sleep that way and wake up that way. That in your stillness, when you wake up, when your energy is most neutral, to let that be the first thing that comes into your conscious thought and let that energy set the tone of your day vibrationally. And in this way, you are creating that space to fall more and more in love with you, then, in the same manner that it felt good when you fell in love with others. You understand?
Yes.
It feels just as good and it assists you with creating that habit of thought. And what happens when you do this at night before you go to sleep and in the mornings when you wake up? What happens? That thought becomes a habit more and more every day. So now you're having that thought at lunch. Now you're having that thought when you are working. And so when you're in your day to day practices and that thought intrudes lovingly from your connection with all that is, it gives you that same feeling that you had when you went to sleep, when you woke up in the morning. And imagine you resonating with that frequency throughout the day effortlessly because everything is effortless for you, you see. And once that happens, what you are going to experience that becomes easier and easier to release your fear-based limiting thoughts because you are expanding then your ability to vibrate in your physical body more and more, which of course, because you are also a light worker, you will be able to assist more and more of your fellow God forces in physical body as well. You will be able to express that love, the expansion of that love within you. Not that you need to create more, it is already there. You're going to expand your ability to perceive you, who and what you really are. Ye are gods, then, you see, and you will be able to accept this more and more. And this is the beauty of creating this habit of thought. But I digress. You had a question?
You did not digress. You just answered my question before I asked it.
Okay. Very good.
That was amazing. Oh my
Did
goodness.
you know that when you laugh, that the power of the energy that is transmitted into the universe resonates faster and farther than your race's machines, that other physical beings then can feel the resonance of your joy. Such is the frequency of your laugh. You just sent joy out into the universe. And this is important because as you begin to resonate more with your authentic energy frequencies, you actually create more of that as well on your planet. And as you already know, as I have said, every single one of you creators, you gods in physical body, are telepathic and psychically connected to each other. Then, of course, and you are sending that joy out into the world. And this cannot be understated that when more of you do this, you change your planet. And why is this important? Because this year there are going to be changes. And it is going to be more important now more than ever for as many of you as possible to expand what you call your awakening journey. Then there are going to be shifts in the world, changes of thought in the world. The vibrational anchor then will be those of you who have expanded your perception, your ability to be aware of the totality of your godliness, your divinity in physical form. It is you all that will be assisting the others, you see, which is why I will be spending time in the next several weeks regarding your divinity. It is important to understand because many of you do not think of it. You think in terms of your planet and your world, not understanding that the universe benefits then from the moments when you find that laughter, that pure harmonization of joy, and you express it through a physical form. The power, the level of power of that energy transmission out into the universe is more than is easily explained right now. But the net effect of doing so, and the laugh was beautiful, then not only assists your planet, let me say, assists your race on this planet, the human race, then with this transmission of energy out. But that transmission of energy does not stop under the atmosphere of your planet. It sends it out into the universe. You impact the universe. These are thoughts and ideas that are good habits of thought to create, to say to yourself, every time I smile, every time I feel joy, every time I laugh, every time I acknowledge that I love someone, it doesn't matter what kind of love, any kind of love, I impact the universe. Such is my power, you see, of course, as God would be in physical form, as you are.
Wonderful.